Most likely not. It would be through each municipality.
Well, it's certainly, you know, it's an important question that you raised, you know, and it's the reason that we're doing this educational effort to really see if we can raise the awareness somewhat, you know. And like I said, we're all kind of, you know, we all do need to think about all of the networks we have and the ability that we have to spread this information. To the extent that you can share the video link, you know, to your groups and to your friends and ask them to do the same. It's a huge help.
Staying on septic tanks, I'm wondering, first off, do local units of government have the authority to set standards for frequency? They could do that?
Could they do it? Would they do it? That's, those are.
There's nothing to stop them from doing it, right?
I'm going to let you talk to your municipality about that. That's something that you need to contact them.
Another question I'm wondering about has to do with lakefront properties. Is there any kind of standard or any requirement that a septic tank that on lakefront property has to be so many feet away from Lake Michigan?
It does. There is, yes.
And what happened during the high water marks last year when properties were going in? Were we getting waste going into Lake Michigan?
Including a septic tank.
Yeah, septic tanks were, yes, that all happened in certain properties, yes. And I believe most of the homes in question were not, I think they were vacant for the most part. So
we know when it was.
we did get some calls, you know, I won't say any addresses or anything like that, but yes, we had some calls that we have worked with some folks with. But as, like I said, if you're within 400 feet of any waterway, even a county drain, we like this, the separation between your seepage bed and a high water, seasonal high water table is at 4 feet versus normally at meets and bounds it's 30 inches, so we're a bit less than 3 feet. So it is stricter. The best case scenario is municipal sewage. I mean, that's just, you know, for these inland lakes, that's best case scenario.
Rick mentioned that he has a marker for pig fecal matter. Was there any detection of that at Blue Flower?
No. How about flour? We were going to test it this year, and then the DEQ decided they were going to test it themselves. So I'm not sure what if they found it in Big Flower or Flower Creek, right?
That Flower Creek has already been listed as impaired water.
Right, and that's because of E. coli, and they have to do the microbial source tracking and figure out, you know, is it bird or is it cow or human or what proportions are. So, but yeah, the swine CAFO was certainly a big issue when they put it back. So yeah.
Could you, how are pristine lawns that are watered a lot, that are on White Lake, Lake Michigan and all, pristine lawns, how does it affect the septic system? Does it affect erosion because we're living on wooded sand dunes? And well, then there's the herbicides, pesticides, and insecticides, and blah, blah, blah that go on. But do they affect the watering as it saturates the, I don't know the terms.
Is that a good question for you, Carlos?
I mean, there's certainly the runoff issue would be the biggest one for the chemicals. I mean, as far as it certainly would depend on the soil type. If it's really sandy and there isn't really saturation, I don't know, Rick, what do you think about?
Well, it's not like Mike was saying, if you're watering your grass above your tile field, that's not good, because it'll encourage the roots to grow and it'll saturate and it won't drain properly, so that's a no-no. But in general, irrigating sandy soil, in places other than your tile field, that will cause any fertilizer that you put on the lawn to leach down into the water table eventually. So I think one of the bigger problems, like for Mona Lake and some of the other lakes, is people like their well manicured green lawns, and they hire ChemLawn to come in and spray the fertilizers, and then they irrigate. So that's a direct connection to the watershed. Then there's areas that are kind of in between, that if you have like a mixture of some lawn and a bunch of trees and shrubs, the shrubs have deeper roots, and if you have shrubs planted near the water, they'll kind of intercept like a buffer strip. Their roots will intercept the nutrients. So it's a relatively complicated question, but in general, if you're fertilizing your lawn on sandy soil and you're next to a lake, it's going to wind up into making the lake green. So
the shrubs, I don't understand. Are they
well,
under
the
bed?
grass has very, very low roots. Your typical ornamental grass, like the bluegrass or whatever, it doesn't have a really deep root system. Shrubs will have deeper roots, so those go down further, and then they can pick up more material. So when you design a buffer strip for a home, you want some plantings near the water that have deeper roots.
Because that's good that they take up the nutrients?
Right, they will prevent the nutrients from getting into the lake.
Okay.
That's the same thing when you're designing buffer strips for agriculture. You want to have grasses to prevent the erosion picking up the soil, and you want to have plantings that have deeper roots to pick up the subsurface drainage. Conservation district.
I think I'm gonna let you grab these folks after. I just wanna put a slide up here because we still have, okay, yes, we actually have 3 septic system homeowner workshops. And that's where Mike is going to be on site at 3 different locations and outdoor. So they'll talk about the septic system, what a septic system is, the basics, how to maintain it, operation and maintenance, how to know if it's failing. And it's for people who have septic systems. They can come. You can come if you don't have one, if you want to learn about it. But the first one is September 19th, and I'll make sure that if you're on the email list, you get all the details. That's going to be at White River Township. They have a septic system. That's going to be at 6 o'clock. And then the next one is September 20, and that's going to be at the home of Terry Campbell and Kevin Kodos. They live on Duck Lake Road in a nice big home, and they're going to welcome us on their property. And then the 22nd is going to be at the Muskegon Conservation District. They have a septic system, and that will be at noon. I'll make sure that you get those details if you're on the email list. And that's a chance to have maybe a little more, you're right there with Mike. You can ask him questions. He can point out things. And maybe he can say if these septic systems are being managed properly, right, Mike?
Yeah, I'll bring an auger and I'll let you see what we do with our augers. We go down 7 feet. We're looking at the sediment. We're looking into a water table, seasonal high water table, all those things that we consider when we design septic systems.
We're going to be mailing out a postcard. The Water Resources Commission is going to be mailing out a postcard to everybody in these watersheds with a link to information on maintaining your septic. So that's going to be another. It's their Septic Smartly, which is September 19 to 23. That's CPA. We're going to mail all the folks information to say, hey, check this website and see how to maintain your septic system. We have asked Rutland Township, White River Township, we're gonna ask the county board with a little presentation to give a resolution in support of that. Just another way to, you know, spread the word about what, this information. And then we'll have a final forum on October 27, that will be virtual. And we're gonna pull some of the speakers back, and then we're gonna have the two teachers present some of the students' work. Some of the students have done brochures that we're gonna be making available and research projects. So, anyway, again, I wanna thank all of our partners. This has been a very busy project with a lot of moving parts and pieces, and they have provided their feedback and helped us guide it in a proper way. And then I wanna thank this panel. Thank you all for your expertise and your time. I think if there's one more, I think that I have my email address on there, Carlos, in case someone wants that. I have my cards up there as well. But if you provide us with your email address, we'll provide you with some information. Yeah, thank you so much for coming.
Would you all please look for a sheet like this on that table back there and put your contact information down if you would like to